Good evening, everybody. I hope everybody's doing well. It is almost midnight, so right now it's September 24th, 2025. Welcome back to my channel and thank you for subscribing. This original little mini painting is by S Stoller from YouTube. Not YouTube, I'm sorry, on eBay. And speaking of eBay, there are many ways that these stalkers, these perpetrators harass you. If you've got an eBay store, they'll harass you through your eBay store. They'll leave negative feedback, file complaints, purchase things that the perpetrators have already stolen from your inventory. And those are some of the things that happened to me here in Jackson County, Kentucky. But something that happened today, and this seems to be a barrage of emails and a phone call today, which leads me to believe it's just part of the program. And I will read to you. I'm going to read a little bit about mobbing, but I want to read you an email. And I apologize if this is a bona fide, a targeted person, but I'm going to say it once. I mean, I've probably said that 1,000 times already. I'm extremely busy. It takes a lot of time to create videos. Like if I record this and it's 20 minutes long, it's not just 20 minutes. I have to upload it. I have to label it. I have to wait for YouTube to review it. So the entire process could take an hour. And in the meantime, I'm doing other things. Like I've got dozens of animals to take care of here, in addition to the fact that I am targeted. I have people coming and going from my property. I'm being pinpricked. I have wake up with injection marks on my body. And it takes a lot of time and effort to maintain a channel, and with all the guidelines and uploading videos and downloading videos. People don't realize how time consuming it is, time extensive it is. But I don't mind doing it. But what I do mind is being barraged by negative comments, which I will quickly remove. I have it set up in my YouTube that if you have certain words in your, the F word, it's not allowed in the comments section. It'll be held for review. Any hashtags, URLs, it's all held for review. I don't know what you're posting there, and I'm not going to jeopardize the channel because you're posting a URL there that may or may not violate YouTube's guidelines, meaning it's taking you off of YouTube. It may be taking me to a YouTube creator I'm not interested in. I realize that you guys have interests and stuff. Email it to me. Email me at alternativehomestaying@gmail.com. I will do my best to respond to your emails. But I receive hundreds of emails every day. The email address that I provided you is only one of many email addresses that I maintain and have maintained over the years. So today I received an email, and I won't use your name. My name is blank, and this is the first time I'm hearing anything about this person. I don't know anything about this person. I don't remember even seeing comments by this person. Most importantly, and in the heading, very urgent. Very urgent. My name is blank. Most importantly, I am the most ardent animal lover. Today, your videos on gang stalking and targeted individuals came on my YouTube feed. I'm a female. I'm all alone and isolated in every way. Yes, my family has been in on it all along. No, I'm not in manner crazy or paranoid or off. I'm a targeted individual. A seriously targeted individual. Not the ridiculously fake, non-targeted individuals that now everyone is pretending to be. I have been targeted since birth, but most likely even before. I'd like for you to prove that to me. I would like to know how you were targeted before birth. I have solid, tangible evidence such as, but not limited to, the following: real-time videos, footage of individuals and their vehicles, and so much more. Please contact me immediately. You can also call me on this phone number. Well, if you have all of that information, why don't you just create your own YouTube channel? Share it with everybody. Why should I have to call you? Why? Are you providing a testimony? That's not what you said here. I said, well, welcome to this person. I do not really have time for phone calls. Please review the videos for research and information that you may need in your situation, Lorraine. So I received a response back. Thank you. You further confirmed my extremely accurate suspicions that perps pose as quote-unquote victims and targeted individuals. Good luck to you. Well, good luck to you, little girl. I think you're just a perpetrator. You're a provocateur. You have the most very urgent, most importantly, ardent animal lover. Is that a kiss up or whatever? Okay? Oh, you're not crazy or paranoid, and you've been targeted even before you were born. Please don't contact me again. I don't care if you're targeted or not. I think you're obnoxious. Goodbye. Then I received, oh, it just started to rain again. On the same day, I receive a phone call. The woman goes on and on, literally a diatribe. She used up all the space on the voicemail that it just trailed off into the distance. She took it upon herself to search for me on Google, search for my phone number, and that she lives in Kentucky, and that she's married, and she's going through this and that, and her animal, a long diatribe. Do you think that if you have the audacity to search for my phone number that I'm going to call you back? I don't know. You may be targeted, you may not. But I don't have an interest. It is not only a violation of my privacy, but it's almost like you're stalking me. If you have something that's so important to say, email me. My email address is on the channel. You can leave a comment on any of the videos. Okay? And then people do leave comments. Oh, I've got such an important situation. How do I contact you? Why do you need to contact me? Unless you're going to provide a testimony that I'll read on the channel, I don't have time to talk to everybody on the phone that wants to speak to me. I leave my time available for phone time for urgent matters, my family, and targeted people that I've been friends with for a long time. There are rare occasions, like I've got an interview set up in a week or so. This is somebody who's already provided testimony. I'm more than happy to have a phone conversation, a phone interview with this person. I know she's a targeted person. But if you contact me out of the blue like that, urgent, Will Rogers, waving your hands in the air, kissing up to me, I literally have no interest. I've done this before. I've been through this rodeo. I'm not going through it. I'm too busy here. And besides the fact that I've got close to 3,000 videos. You want to fast track your targeting by not performing the research and reading that we have already done for you? I'm sorry. This has been going on for me for almost 14 years. I don't have the time or patience. I'm just as targeted as the next person. Maybe I'm more targeted even. That's what some people tell me. But anyway, it's just another method for perpetrators to show their faces. So now I wanted to read a little bit about mobbing, because we've discussed mobbing in the form of real estate mobbing, but what is mobbing? And also, a lot of you guys steal work. And Targeted Truth Finder this evening posed a question. Has anybody heard from Renata? not Renata Jones, who passed away. Renata, Renetta. God is our protector. She's got a YouTube channel. She would do a lot of videos, and she would do a lot of the live streams, like driving back home from work and stuff. So she was still working, and she would get the mobbing, the real estate mobbing, etc. But no one has heard from her. So if anybody knows that she's okay, leave a comment on this video, or if anybody has a method of contacting her directly, just so that we know. We don't want people to suddenly disappear. Although people do disappear because, YouTube can be a pain in the neck sometimes. You post a video, like for instance, I'll give you a quick for instance. I go through the checks and balances before my videos go live so that I don't have any issues with copyright or anything like that. That everything's copacetic, So with the gang stalking compilation video, I did that. Everything came back fine. But literally just a little while ago, I received an email from YouTube that your video is okay for all advertising. And I thought, well, that's weird. I already went through this whole process yesterday, but suddenly they've gone through the reviews. It's taken more than 24 hours, and it's come back as being okay for advertisements. So I thought that was a little bizarre. But that's what, YouTube creators, if you become monetized, what you go through. Your video may not be monetized for days, days at a time, while YouTube is reviewing it. So, anyway. So I have a book entitled Mobbing, Emotional Abuse in the American Workplace. Now, what I'm going to describe absolutely happens in the workplace, but it happens in groups. If you belong to a membership, you have memberships in person or online groups and forums. It obviously happens if you're a targeted person, in your environment. But this is basically specific to the workplace. Emotional abuse in the American workplace. And I actually read from this on one of my live streams probably about 3-4 months ago. I read the first chapter. So what is mobbing? And how does it happen? Mobbing is an emotional assault. It begins when an individual becomes the target of disrespectful and harmful behavior. Disrespectful and harmful behavior. So when your perpetrators, your neighbors, are harassing you, they are being disrespectful and are displaying harmful behaviors. That goes for in person, on the road, in the workplace, on YouTube, on TikTok, on eBay, on Facebook. Okay? So any place where you are a target, you can experience these horrific behaviors. Through innuendo, rumors, and public discrediting, a hostile environment is created in which one individual, see, it's usually one individual gathers others to willingly or unwillingly participate in continuous malevolent actions to force a person out of the workplace. And this could go for out of your apartment, out of your home, out of your farm, out of the neighborhood. These actions escalate into abusive and terrorizing behavior. The victim feels increasingly helpless when the organization does not put a stop to the behavior or may even plan or condone it. That's when it's called mobbing. Technically, the stalking becomes mobbing when a person in a position of authority is aware of it and does nothing, is complicit, participates in it, or turns a blind eye ignoring it, is aware that it's going on, is in a position to prevent it from happening, and chooses to not. It's considered mobbing. As a result, the individual experiences increasing distress, illness, social misery. Frequently, productivity is affected and victims begin to use sick leave to try to recover from the daily pressures and torment. Depression and accidents may occur. Resignation, termination or early retirement. The negotiated, voluntary or involuntary expulsion from the workplace follows. For the victim, a death through illness or suicide may be the final chapter in the mobbing story. Don't ever do that. Do not ever do that, people. These people celebrate that. They're sadists. They're sick people. For the organization, mobbing is like the C word. Beginning with one malignant cell, it can spread quickly, destroying vital elements of the organization. Remedial action must be taken at an early stage, which is why, you know, when your sheriff's department is complicit, that you report what's going on. They don't file the incident reports. They don't take photos of your vandalism. They flip the switch. Mobbing is aggression against anyone. Could be anyone. Rather than specific discrimination against someone based on age, gender, race, creed, nationality, disability, or pregnancy, using harassment, abusive, and often terrorizing behaviors, mobbing is done intentionally to force the person out of the workplace. Two different types of malevolent conduct can be identified: active aggression and passive aggression. These tactics vary according to the subtlety of the aggressor. Passive aggressiveness are a special problem, since they can wrap their malevolence in acts of occasional kindness and politeness, you know, like Jezebel with the blue lights on, who when I mentioned to her about what targeting is about, she says, she has the audacity to say, "Do you mean that I can do anything I want to you and get away with it?" What kind of psychopath thinks that way? Injury, not illness. The psychological consequences of mobbing should be termed an injury, not an illness, thus attributing the cause of the suffering to the persons who intentionally inflicted the harm. Exactly. The persons who inflicted the harm are the people that inflict the injury upon the injured or the victim. So, mobbing typology. Dr. Heinz Lehman identified 45 mobbing behaviors and grouped them in 5 categories depending on the nature of the behavior. Not all of these will happen in every case. Any one of these behaviors taken alone may be despicable, uncivilized, and generally not acceptable. Any one by itself could possibly be tolerated by someone sometime occurrence or brushed off by assuming that the person doing such a thing might just be having a bad day. And who doesn't have a bad day? However, when these behaviors are displayed continuously and in many different variations, they become intentional abuse and create terror. In the U.S., some of the discriminatory behaviors mentioned in Category 3 and any of the outright physical assault behaviors mentioned in Category 5 are illegal. They're covered by laws in all 50 states. They could be taken by themselves ample grounds if the affected persons wanted to file a lawsuit. The majority of behaviors in categories 1, 2, and 4 fall into behaviors that are considered within the employer's prerogative. Although considered management of the worst kind, there is no bias, and yet that would allow one to build a legal case. Exceptions are oral or written threats, and that management orders colleagues to not speak with you. Should you be given meaningless tasks to do, or ones that are below your qualifications, and this could be construed as another prerogative of the employer. So that's how they get around that. So now I'll read about the categories. Okay, this is layman's typography. The first category is impact on self-expression and the way communication happens. 1. Your superior restricts the opportunity for you to express yourself. 2. You're interrupted constantly. Colleagues or coworkers restrict your opportunity to express yourself. You're yelled at or loudly scolded. Your work is constantly criticized. There's constant criticism about your private life. You're terrorized on the telephone. Oral threats are made. Written threats are sent. Contact is denied through looks or gestures. Contact is denied through innuendos. So this is the first category. And these also describe cyber stalkers. You know, the hairy gorilla kind. The second category, attacks on one's social relations. 1. People do not speak with you anymore. 2. You cannot talk to anybody. Like, access to others is denied. Like, access to a veterinarian is denied because you're not friends with my friends. So I can't give you a veterinary appointment because I just don't get you because you're not friends with my friends. It's such a professional attitude. 3. You're put into a workplace that is isolated from others. 4. Colleagues are forbidden to talk with you. 5. You're treated as if you're invisible. Well, this sounds like community mobbing also, right? Third category, attacks on your reputation. Oh, this is the fusion centers, the FBI operatives, your local neighbors, you know, the whisper campaigns, you know, the ones with the big mouths that blabber to everybody. Third category, attacks on your reputation. People talk badly behind your back. 2. Unfounded rumors are circulated. You know, like the rumors are initially here that I don't pay people. Yeah, I've been able to live here for 6 years not paying people. Third category, okay, unfounded rumors circulated. You're ridiculed. You're treated as if you're mentally ill. Like all of those comments like, oh, you sound like you're paranoid, or, oh, this is schizophrenic. You see those words in your comment section, you immediately block that person and delete the comment, because obviously first of all, generally, most of these people are not psychiatrists or psychologists where they could make such of a diagnosis. And the fact that they would be performing a diagnosis on the internet, I believe that would be against YouTube guidelines. It's called misinformation. 5, you're forced to undergo a psychiatric evaluation or examination. 6, your handicap is ridiculed. 7, people imitate your gestures, walk, voice to ridicule you. Cyber stalkers do this too, by the way. 8, your political or religious beliefs are ridiculed. Oh, well, this is happening across the country. 9, your private life is ridiculed. 10, your nationality is ridiculed. Oh yeah, some cyber stalker was doing this to me and another YouTube creator recently. 11, you're forced to do a job that affects your self-esteem. 12, your efforts are judged in a wrong or demeaning way. You know, just like that email that I received. Very urgent, Will Robinson, urgent. My email is I am the most ardent animal lover. Contact me immediately. I have real-time videos, footage, and so much more. Contact me immediately. Cough, cough. You're called demeaning names, sexual innuendos. The fourth category is attacks on the quality of one's professional and life situation. And cyber stalkers do this also, as well as your neighbors. 1, there are no special tasks for you. 2, supervisors take away assignments, so you can't even invent new tasks to do. 3, you're given meaningless jobs to carry out. 4, you're given tasks that are below your qualifications. 5, you're continuously given new tasks. You know, like when they dump animals on your property that you're forced to take care of in some way. 6, you're given tasks that affect your self-esteem. You're given tasks that are way beyond your qualifications in order to discredit you. 8, causing general damages that create financial costs to you. Well, this happens everywhere for every targeted person. Damaging your home or workplace. Yes, like when I lived at 52 Sutton Drive, Manalapan, New Jersey, a home I lived in for 30 years as the original owner. My home was damaged to a tune of close to $300,000. $4,100 of cash was stolen from me, my clothing, and Maria from Barnegat, New Jersey, the feral cat cartel member, showed up at my house, stole a pair of shoes, entered my backyard, and damaged my cat door on my shed for my cats because she's such a jealous little gang stalker, loser girl. But because she's married to a copper, she gets away with this shit. So if you're married to a cop, you too can become a felony stalker. Number 5, the 5th category, direct attacks on your personal health. You know, like when they enter your house and spread insects and nanodust and graphene and gassing your property, pouring chemicals on your lawn. Direct attacks on a person's health. 1, you're forced to do physically strenuous job. Threats of physical violence are made. Light violence is used to threaten you. Physical abuse, outright sexual harassment. And that is absolutely a thing in the workplace, sexual harassment. Yes. Mobbing as a process. It's important to stress that mobbing happens as a process of abusive behaviors inflicted over time. It begins insidiously and soon gains such momentum that a point of no return is reached. Like a tornado, the events escalate into a spiral. So what exactly does happen when mobbing occurs? There's phase 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Phase 1 is characterized by a critical incident, a conflict. In itself, this is not yet mobbing. It can, however, develop into mobbing behaviors. Now, I would venture to say that that's what happened to that freshman, Autumn Borden, at the Tuscumbia, Alabama high school, who had the shit beat out of him, and he was in a coma, and he almost died. And everybody's covering it up because his daddy seems to be somebody special. Maybe he's one of those Freemasons. I don't know, but nobody's investigating it. The kid almost died, and the media has gone silent on it, except for Law and Crime that has interviewed his parents, who are not going to stop. They're going to file a lawsuit. So there's always a critical incident, a conflict. In itself, this is not yet mobbing. It can, however, develop into mobbing behaviors. Phase 2 is characterized by the aggressive act and a psychological assault that set the mobbing dynamics into motion. And I believe we can apply this to August Borden at the high school. And he was an up-and-coming freshman football player. But the senior football player was envious and jealous and evidently entitled. Everybody knows who did it, but nobody's talking about it. This is a gag order. Imagine gagging an entire school about attempted unaliving. Phase 3 then involves management. And this is when it's really called mobbing. It involves management that plays a part in the negative cycle by misjudging the situation as if they have not already been participating in phase 2. And instead of extending support, they begin the isolation and expulsion process. So this is mobbing. Phase 3, management is involved in the process of harassment, although they were involved already in phase 2. Phase 4 is critical. Victims are now branded as difficult or mentally ill. This misjudgment by management and health professionals reinforces the negative cycle. It almost always leads to expulsion or forced resignation. Oh, and by the way, if you have been denied a job because of your background search, you can participate in the class action lawsuit that I posted in my last video. Phase 5 is the expulsion. The trauma of this event can additionally trigger post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. After the expulsion, the emotional distress and the ensuing psychosomatic illnesses continue and often intensify. Now also, what this doesn't mention is the financial problem. Because during this time that the person is let go from their employment, they may or may not be entitled to unemployment. And then this will affect their ability to gain access to future employment just because of this particular mobbing situation, which a lot of times is because of envy and jealousy. Generally, the people that are mobbed in a work environment are the people that do the best work. But the other people around them, those are the lazy ones. Those are the ones that just want to get by with doing the least amount of work. So then when somebody else comes in and is doing like this exceptional work and maybe wanting more work and stuff, the other people are like, oh my goodness, we can't let this happen. We've got to get this person out of here. It's usually the most conscientious person that they're mobbing. Like Autumn Borden in Alabama, who is evidently still recovering from being pummeled by a senior quarterback, whose name everybody knows, but nobody's talking about. But anyway, I'm going to end here. We're into a half an hour, and I hope everybody's doing well. I'll leave a comment down below. Have you experienced a workplace mobbing? Do you know anybody that has? If you would like to offer a written testimony, you can email me at alternativehomesteading@gmail.com. So there are multiple testimonies that you can provide. A written testimony is the first way to go. And I will read it on my channel as your testimony. And I'm also very interested in your life before targeting. So this would be before targeting. And we have one so far by Deborah Florian, which was wonderful, because it's so important to remember what our life was like before targeting, and also to let our crazy-ass perpetrators know how successful we all were before, and that their slander and defamation means nothing to us. It only means something to them, and their sorry-ass little loser friends that believe the lies they spread. So on that note, I'm going to sign off for now. And please, I appreciate all of you guys emailing me and stuff, but please, we're all targeted here. I'm not into your drama or your histrionics. I have no patience, zero tolerance for it. If you're a genuinely targeted person, you're usually going to be a nice person. You'll email me. And I have a lot of phone numbers from a lot of people. I don't always have time. The one thing I've realized is whenever I get on the phone with a targeted person, one that I know or don't know, there is a minimum of a half an hour. I'm going to say at the minimum, it's a half an hour phone call. And I have spent hundreds and hundreds of hours on the phone with targeted people. I don't have the time. I'm also trying to devise ways to sell this property and get the hell out of Kentucky because I cannot stand living here. Anybody has ideas for me? Leave a comment down below. I've got a few of my own that I believe will end up working. We're going to sign off for now, and I will talk to you guys soon.